What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in to the world's greatest machining channel. We're going to talk about handles for this Spyderco Tenacious that I got. So this was the handle that we worked on last time, and this pin, the rotating pin or whatever, slider pin, was too big, and so this is the one that's currently on here with the company logo. So this is basically version 4 that I have, and there's a couple things I had to change. I don't know if the camera's going to be able to pick it up, but you can see the top middle body is, yeah, you can see it there, is bigger than the actual where the handle comes out, so I adjusted that. And then other than that, it's pretty good. I don't, for some reason the stock was incorrect when it machined it, so it actually machined like on the edge of the stock. And in Fusion, it was, the body was center, the model was center, so it's kind of weird that it did that. But other than that, it's good working. There's enough slop in the pin. Well, I wouldn't call it slop. There's just enough to have the action really nice and smooth, like on the knife. So yeah, I like it. So we're gonna do a bottom one, possibly today. I'm not too sure. I'm on the fence about if I should remake this and this one today, or if I should actually do some organizing in here. But this is kind of like a, not a guide style video, but more of a vlog style, so I guess we could choose whatever we want to do. But some updates as far as actual machining things go. I got more pull studs in from Maritool because I only had 15 before, so these are through coolant pull studs. And I think if you're going to buy pull studs, you might as well just buy through coolant, unless you never ever plan on having either a machine or just never needing through coolant, because the through coolant ones are only a little bit more cheap air. Yeah, so there's that. There's some tools that I got from Lakeshore that need to be organized. Like here's a thread mill, which I have absolutely no idea how to use, but there are guides on the internet, so we'll be okay. Check it out. Yeah, single point or whatever you call it, four edge. I don't know how you actually define this. Yeah, they call it a 4-flute. So 4-flute. There's that, and then there's a couple of really nice cutters I got. Long cutters, like here's a super long end mill, but with a steel coating on it, which I didn't think coatings matter too much, but come to find out that they do. And you don't really want to use that, what do you call this, Alton coating on aluminum. I'm not entirely sure why, but I know that it's recommended to run Alton coating dry with no coolant, because I guess the Alton coating actually activates when the coating gets like hot. So yeah, here's another Alton ball end mill. Really nice tools. I just I thought I wasn't going to have much use for them, but I'm working on this one of those pry bars, those mini pry bars. So, and that's going to be made out of tool steel, which I have. I'm not entirely sure what kind of tool steel, but she's tool steel. So we're going to do a pry bar out of that, and it's a pretty. I'll show a video later. We'll do a video. It's only like that big. It's about the entire length. Actually, it's probably a little more. It's probably this body plus half. So probably like to here, where my thumb is. Not that big, and much more narrow too. But yeah, I kind of want to have I want to build a pry bar where the end of it's like a pry, and then the actual side part is it has an actual blade on it, so it's like a dual purpose type thing. And then yeah, and if anyone is curious, this is kind of how I organize the end mills. So I just have them like listed, like this says 1/8 4-flute, square end, high speed steel, and then like this will be like if it's got a coating, it'll be on the end, and then the actual material, solid carbide, square end kind of thing. Yeah, so obviously it's still work in progress because some of the they're not filled, and I don't have obviously all the labels that are that I got from here, you know, kind of thing. So yeah, let's see. Let's go ahead and we're gonna set up. We'll set up one piece of stock to do 2 of these. And hold on, let me we'll do the startup on here. I already warmed it up today, but I haven't been in the garage for a couple hours, so I usually just shut it off. That way, save some power. So let's get some stock for 2 handles, which is, we got a ton over here. So all I'm gonna need is one that's long enough to do both. That might work pretty good. Should be able to fit 2 there. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out, I guess. Yeah, maybe we'll use this piece because otherwise I'm not gonna have any use for it. Let's load it up in the machine like that. Did the offsets, did the center offset and the up and down, the Z. And we're gonna hit go. Oh, make sure you have, if you're like me and you can't afford high-speed machining, make sure it's turned on. And then I'm just gonna let it go and see if it doesn't shut off during the actual program because of voltage drop issues. Well, good times. Yeah, that's what happens when you don't have enough power in your garage. Yeah. All right, things are going semi-smoothly. Currently doing the bores for the slider pins and the whatchamacallit, the screws, the shoulder screws. And I changed the step down. So this is a 16th inch tool, so it's pretty tiny. So I changed the step down to, well, I don't know what it was, but just so it has some step down as opposed to like basically helixing down at the bottom of the hole and then taking a huge full depth cut. Well, huge, 16 in the 16th realm. So it sounds much better because instead of doing helix, like I said, all the way down, doing a full cut, it only does like a quarter of that. So before it was squealing, and now it sounds like a much more normal cutting sound, if you will. I don't really know how else to describe it. So this next is the exciting part where it does the 2D adaptive and actually hogs out most of the material. Yeah, so going good. And then after we do this blade, we'll do the bottom blade, and then we'll see about maybe making some fixtures to actually do these production style, and updating some designs for the engraving part, make it kind of cool. And then maybe try different materials like TI or copper or bronze or something, you know, something pretty cool. So yeah, I'll update you in a second. All right, I'm back. I just went and ate some Chinese food mid-production. I'm such a terrible person. Pro tip, if you didn't know, there's this button that says option stop right here on the Haas machine that'll actually option stop the program between, I don't know what like M code or what actual call it makes to determine the option stop. But the nice thing is when you have an option stop and the machine stops in between its actual the tool paths, it'll you're allowed to open the doors and stuff, at least on this VF2. So what we'll do is we're in between ops. So the next one is to hog out the actual profile of the blade, and we're just going to take a look at the actual finish we got right now, which is pretty good. There's still some shell mill tool marks, and I think I have the cutters that are in there. The inserts are general purpose. Excuse me, ate too fast. The inserts that are in there are general purpose, so that means that they are purpose to cut everything. There's a feeds and speed listing for every single material. So they're not finishing inserts. If they were finishing inserts, maybe you'd have a better finish than what's shown. And I'm also still working on kind of the feeds and speeds. So I did a finishing pass on this one of like 15 inches per minute, or maybe it was 15 feet per minute. I don't remember. Inches per minute, I think, and 5,000 RPM. So with a step down of 30 thou maybe. So you can kind of see the finish. Actually, the faster feed before the faster inch per minute of 30, I think, 35, actually left a better finish. So that's something interesting. Might have something to do with the peeling action of actually cutting. But anyway, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click it over and we'll go do the adaptive and see how that turns out. So yeah, let's do it. And like I said, I got to turn the RPM down on a tool change just because of my power issues. So 50% spindle, there's our 3/16 cutter, feed hold, and then we'll go 100% spindle. 9K for a feed rate. We're at 40 inches per minute, so that should be, hold on, give me a second, 3 inches per tooth. Right between, really close to 3 inches per tooth. And I think it sounds pretty good. I bet you could go a lot harder, but I don't, one, we're glued down. These blocks aren't necessarily flat on the bottom, so I don't want to have them fly off and hit the tool setter or anything, because that would be expensive and make me a sad boy. Alright, we got the handle profiled out. I think this looks so cool. The actual, how nice that side finish on there is. Let's see. So it's just a normal 2D adaptive, and then a 2D contour to clean up the edge. So that looks pretty good. Next is we're doing 3/16 tool. Next is a 3/16 ball end, and that's going to do it's a scallop tool path, and that'll do the edges. It'll cut the edges over, roll them over, make them nice and clean. And then after that, we're going to engrave right down in this corner here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Coolant dripping all over me. Right here in this corner, we're going to engrave the company logo. If you see the handle, I know I showed it at the beginning of the video, but this one that's on there, that's what the logo looks like. Yeah. So it's super simple, but there is a space between each arrow, so it might be kind of difficult for the actual tool to get in there, because the tool that I'm using is a Lakeshore Carbide. It's a 20 thou ball engraver. But I'll do you'll see it in a second after we do this surfacing. So yeah, I don't know if it'll work in there. The tool path shows it will, so we'll just have to find out. It'd be cool to have a small discrete logo. I think that always looks cool. I mean, I'm not too much of a fan of doing the big logo like that. Cool. Now we're gonna do 100% spindle. Apparently we're not. Alright, give me a second, we'll restart this thing. Oh boy, it's still spinning. Yeah, it doesn't actually break when it does when it shuts down like that. You gotta wonder how bad that is for it to have the RPM, the spindle actually still spinning while the machine's off. Like if it backfeeds somehow. I don't think it would. I can't imagine a low voltage issue is that awful for the machine as opposed to like a high voltage issue. So yeah, the worst part is like you could use the like spindle brake if it did a tool change, but you can't do a tool change until you go through like the startup steps, and you can't cycle the door because if the spindle's turning, the doors are locked. So yeah, just wait for that to spin down. That just means my bearings are really good, what can I say? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to re-aim those jets because none of them are hitting. Huh. I must, you know what I must have done is posted out just the contour by accident. Let's see what I actually did. Oh yeah, see? Yeah, okay. Alright, give me a second. Pretty funny because I had that like heart racing moment when I was like, why is the tool going off to the side? I could have sworn the ball end mill actually goes down center. But obviously I couldn't see that it wasn't a ball end mill, so. Yep, that's a ball end mill. All 12K. I would say this is probably a good speed for this setup, from what I can tell, finish-wise and productivity-wise, if you will. Oh, that glass is way dirtier. I love this, the air blast on here. It like doesn't do anything. I guess it depends on your coolant, but this coolant seems to run down pretty good. Like the coolant we use at work is like, it sticks to the glass really bad, and yeah, this, like, if you wait a while, usually most of the coolant, the glass becomes pretty clean. Like I was saying in the other video, I need to get a GoPro and stick you guys in there. It's always a good time. Alright, sweet. So we got the profiling done. It smells like food in here. I hear this is terrible for your lungs. Oh man. That is clean. Look at that. That's awesome. Looks better in person, I swear. Alright, next is the engraving, and like I said, we're going to do an engraving right on this back corner here. And I'm excited to see how it turns out. And hope it crashes through. Excellent. Wow. I think it was too tiny to even run the toolpath. Because I don't think it could anything. Oh, look, it added some nice dots. I don't even know if you're going to be able to see them on camera. Unhelpful, truly. Oh well, I'll just pull that handle off, and then I don't necessarily need to have it engraved anyways. The company logo is not that exciting. Alright, I'm going to pull this off, and then we'll get started for the bottom side handle. If you guys are curious how I'm setting these quick prototype jobs up, so I got masking tape, which is well, actually it's powder coating tape, and then powder coating tape, and then this 2P10 super glue. And yeah, you put the super glue on this guy and place it down on here. Make sure you're mostly straight. I tend to not worry about it being straight. I mean, mostly straight, but man, there's a huge this one's kind of bowed slightly. That'd be okay. Alright, ladies and gents, I've been working on the cam for this, and I think we got it covered. So the bottom handle has a relief right here for the thing, you know, the thingamabobber, right? And then so we're gonna do, first we're gonna face, start with our stock, center, face, do a 2D adaptive to clean that out, then a contour to come clean up the edge. Alright, we got her all probed in, and hopefully it doesn't fly off the block, because it is, she's got quite the bit of a bow to her. So we'll see. Well, that is not what I wanted there, Haas. We're gonna do position on this, just because I cannot see. Oh yes, it's not even touching it. Alright, I think I figured out. I had the stock point, or the box point, in Fusion set to the top of the model as opposed to the top of the stock, so I'm almost certain that's what it was. I'm gonna hope that's what it was. Good luck! see. Oh yeah, let's mill with the probe. Either that's the world's smallest relief, or the tool's not hitting the right thing. Oh, what a relief! I must have gotten the heights wrong on the, on the adaptive. Alright, let me fix that. Alright, it actually did that because I had axial stock to leave on adaptive, and axial is like height-wise when you leave stock, and radial is like on, like vertically, up, you know, up and down. And so when I had, this pocket's only 20 thou deep, and the adaptive was going to leave 20 thou axial, so that's why I didn't even cut on the floor, and that's why the contour cut, because the contour is going in at tolerance or whatever, and cutting. So let's re-post process this. Actually, I just did that. And let's try it again. Machining is fun. There we go. Now here's the contour, which we already did, so it probably won't make a noise. Cool. So here's the bottom side. That's what that relief looks like. Pretty cool. Alright, now what I have to do is unglue it, flip it over, but not, luckily it's nice and flat now. And then we'll do the second op. I'm almost certain this is not the best way to do this, but when you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you're doing, you know? So we can't put glue here because there's obviously a void of 20 thou. So let's just hope this holds. People in the comments laughing at me. Cool, okay, so I measured the height now, which is 1545 at its tallest. I updated infusion, so we're gonna go ahead and get this started. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the probe. We'll measure the Z again because now the height's different, and do the offsets in the rectangular form because we don't have a vice stop or anything. So yeah. Man, look how much you guys can see. I don't think the flood coolant is actually hitting the drill tip. Just like a cone around it. Alright, here comes the cool one. Like that tool path to start on the outside because I didn't like that dive into the top of the material, but it's all okay. It might be because there's that bow in the piece of material there. Hopefully this tool path looks pretty cool. Oh, that's kind of cool. Sweet. Didn't break, that's good. Now we're going to do the 2D adaptive for the outside. And I won't bore you guys with this one. Do you see a problem with this picture? Where's my part? Huh. Alright, well, I'm gonna have to come up with something other than gluing it, I guess, because, yeah, that ain't gonna work. Alright, boys, well, I'm gonna leave this video at this somber moment, just because it's probably going to be like a 25-minute long video at this point. So we're going to figure out some fixturing probably, because we got lucky that the part didn't hit the tool setter. So yeah, I will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.